Damn it. Start that off with a yawn. What the hell? Hey folks, this is Nick here. Today I'm not going to be doing any review on a product or juice. Today I want to talk about how and why I got into vaping. So this is around end of October 2010. Actually mid-October I should say. My dad had two discs in his neck that were kind of screwed up, so he had to get surgery, and in order, he decided that if he was going to heal correctly, he had to quit smoking. So he quit using Shantix, and he turned into a, anyway. So, and, like 4 or 5 months prior to this, I was in a shopping mall, and I randomly just walk into a Smoking Everywhere kiosk. So I try it, and I thought it was really interesting. But I didn't get it yet. I didn't start vaping until October 26th, because when I was a smoker, I made my own cigarettes, for like $1 a pack, and starter kits are like 40, 50, 60 bucks depending on where you shop now. So I wasn't gonna spend that amount when I could just get like 9-10 cartons for 60 bucks. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. But eventually I was doing research in the meantime on e-cigs. I found Grim Green's YouTube channel. I started watching his videos, and I think I watched a couple, and then I forgot about e-cigs for a while, and then randomly one day I just walked into my local smoke shop and I bought an e-cig. It was called the e-health cigarette. And that was the first review I had ever done on anything PV related. I had super long hair, and I was, it was a mess. But I do that one's long gone now. I have gotten a different one now. It's the e-health cigarette. This one I actually came from dealextreme.com, and I do intend to do a revisit review on it in the future. So you have that I have to look forward to. So I had the e-health cigarette for maybe a month, and it was okay. And I got some decaying camel and some decaying menthol and some carts, and I spent like 60 bucks. I remember paying $11.78 for a 10 ml bottle of decaying juice, and big rip-off. I mean, you can get like $3 or $4 for a 10 ml bottle of decaying liquid. Some places you can get that for USA liquid now. So anyway, I had got that, and then eventually I wanted something a little better. So I got a KR808 kit and an Ego kit from the House of Vapor. Damn, why am I yawning? Anyway, and I loved the Ego. And unfortunately I didn't get any drip tips, so I was just using blank cartridges, because I didn't bother dripping or using the carts with this thing. I mean, I used like the first 5, and I'm like, this tastes like crap. So I just went straight to dripping. Yeah. I'm yawning. Why am I yawning? Oh well. So I love the Ego. I had my first low-res atomizer, and I had to use a cart, and so I was like chain vaping on the atomizer, so I melted the cartridge. So I basically just set that aside and waited until I got my first drip tip to use it again, and then why am I? Damn, I'm not that tired. I need a vape. Okay, so I was completely happy with the Ego and the KR808 kit, and then I think a week after I got my Ego, I started listening to VaporCast because I, was like going through, basically watching Grim Green's videos nonstop, and he talked about VaporCast. So I just did a Google search and for VaporCast, and I found their podcast. So I got iTunes and I downloaded it to iTunes, and then I started learning about mods and batteries and all that other cool stuff. Jeez. So eventually I started looking at what mod I wanted to get. I did want to get the Prodigy V2, but I had no idea that the last one was sold back in June, so I was kind of late on that. So I decided to get a Silver Bullet. And then I basically had to relearn how to drip without getting a dry hit, and you don't want to get a dry hit at 6 volts. That's like hellfire. So I learned that. So, and nowadays, eventually later, I got an exhaler and a triple V, and now I have a Helix and a ProVary. ProVary is my favorite device now, and so I love vaping. I mean, if I hadn't started vaping, I would not have any of the friends that I have now. And when I was vaping, I was still kind of smoking. I maybe had, like less than 10 a month, because I didn't want to waste all that tobacco that I had. I probably had maybe 10 pounds of tobacco left from when I made my own cigarettes. So I was smoking here and there, and eventually I found out that there was going to be a vaping event in Chicago called VapeBash, and I got to go, and I had an absolute blast. I got to sit down with VaporCast and review some juices with them that I sent them back in May of last year, so that was an awesome time. That was actually funny, because, Scott asks me, like, I have no idea why I wasn't, a little more enthusiastic. I think I was just completely overwhelmed with it. Even though I had seen videos and knew how it was, but it's completely different from seeing it on a video and experiencing it. It's completely different. So I went to, VapeBash. I got to meet all the vendors that I've purchased from. I got to meet Green and Amber, and let's see. I got to meet, here's a picture of me and Grim, and yeah, I know I'm not smiling. I think Scott at VaporCast was taking seemed like it was taking too long, so you didn't know if I got the picture. So here's a picture of VaporCast. Here's the folks at Avid Vapor. There's Cisco and Hannah, and I'm sorry, I don't remember that person's name. Here's some folks at Juicy Vapor and Andre at the House of Vapor, and here's Joe and Josh at eLiquid Planet, and here's me and Mike from eSig Emporium, the Vapinator, who I got to share a room with. I mean, I had a blast. An absolute blast at VapeBash. And here's a picture of Mike from Raw Vapor and Blacksmith Pro. You know, I had a blast, and I can't wait until the next one. I'm actually thinking about going to VaporCon, so we'll see what happens with that, but I'm trying to save up money for it. I am saving up money for it. I shouldn't say I'm trying. I am saving money for it. You know, and when I was recording with VaporCast, I wish I was just a little more enthusiastic. Because Scott asked me if I wanted to review the juices, and I said, like, yes. Like, what the hell was I thinking? I can't be like, yeah, I want to do it with you. Let's go for it. And then they asked me, are you enjoying VapeBash? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I should have been like, I am having a fan-fucking time at VapeBash. So I'm working on that right now. I need to be a little more enthusiastic, but I think I'm gonna blame overwhelmness on my part. But you know, vaping is a fantastic thing. If my last cigarette was like 2 weeks before I went to VapeBash. So if I had not gone to VapeBash, I would still be smoking a cigarette here and there, but I am completely off of tobacco now. Yay. So celebrate that. Well, so VapeBash was basically a gift to myself. I wanted to meet all these people that I've been seeing and talking to, the vendors and the reviewers, and that was an amazing time. Anyway, now I'm rambling. So I really got into vaping so that my dad would stop breathing down my neck and tell me to quit smoking. But even though he says he's worried about me vaping, like he thinks it's bad, and I'm like, you know what, whatever. I've tried explaining to him that we know what's in it. You know, there's the foreign ingredients, the PG, VG, food flavoring, and nicotine. But, he still thinks that somehow it's bad for you. And you know what? He might be right. You shouldn't be really inhaling anything that you're not meant to inhale. But it's no worse than smoking. If I was still smoking, I would eventually get cancer. Yeah. Big mess. But I am very, very grateful that I have stopped smoking now, and I am a full-fledged vapor. I've been vaping for almost 2 years now, even though I was smoking still, but enough with the smoking. I have a ton. I have like 7 mods now. I have an exhaler, a Helix, a Provari. Whoop, almost dropped it. Don't drop it. What do I have? I have a Triple V from KVS, and I have the exhaler. I've never done a review on it because I didn't feel I needed to. I have a gripper, and I plan on getting a Darwin eventually, and maybe a Kick. But you know what? That's, you know, all in the future. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to sum it up. I'm going to stop the video right now because we're running long. Thank you for sticking with me in this long video. I hope you enjoyed it and hearing a little bit about my backstory. And I'm never leaving the vaping community. I have no intention on leaving. So thank you for watching. If you stuck with it, thank you for watching, and happy vaping, and I'll see you on Vape TV. More to come on that.